Hello and welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to another Monkeywood Moto Camp special. Today we're heading up towards the Scottish borders, and the campsite is nestled in the middle of Kielder Forest. The site itself is called Boe Rigg. I have scoped this one out a few times online and been close to pulling the trigger, but here we are today, finally making the trip across. Now this site has been recommended by a few viewers of the channel, but I'm not going to yabber on too much. Just going to enjoy the ride. If I see anything interesting along the way, I'll bring you back. If not, I'll see you at the campsite. This looks like the place. The Boe Rigg. Right, let's get the gear off, get checked in, and then see which way we've got to go. I have a feeling it looks like we've got to go up this gravel bank. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad. I don't think there's any gravel on it at the top. Well, that's us checked in, and our pitch is just behind that white motor van over there next to the little pond, which means we're going to have to go along this gravel route, up that bank, all the way across and back down. But I asked the chap at reception, who was spot on, very friendly, that it's like a dirt track, so it should be absolutely fine. But there's only one way to find out. Let's try and speed through this so we can get in some cooler clothes and start getting organised. I've used this roll bag numerous times now, and it may not be the cheapest, but the Krieger branded stuff is absolute top quality. So we're just going to get everything out of the roll bag. There's the beer, which is now already lukewarm, but when I was speaking to the guy in reception, he did offer to put it in the freezer. Now I know that's cheating a little bit on a campsite, but I think I'm going to take him up on that offer. But first things first, as always, is to find the general shape of it, find where the doors are. And then once you've done that, you can decide exactly where you're going to position it. So I'm going to have a door facing that way, and then a door that's a bit more private facing back out this way. And the ground does seem actually exceptionally soft, but we'll just put one in each corner. Not that there's any wind. We'll do the same on the other side. And once that's done, we'll just throw in these 3 tent poles, and these are all the same length, so you kind of get them mixed up. So for an idiot like me, foolproof. Now every camp I've done this year has either been only me here on site, or 1 or 2 people spread out. This one is a little bit busier. There's probably about 6 tents here and a motorhome, but the majority of the site is empty. So again, I think I've hit lucky. That's if you prefer that kind of thing in a quiet campsite. But in terms of coming here and doing a video for the channel, you do prefer it to be a bit more on the quiet side. Them sheep might get annoying later. Right, now we're just going to fly through and put in all the tent pegs. And because we don't have to use a hammer, this is going to be a very quick job. Every time I take the tent down, I always leave the ground sheet attached, which means in theory when we open this door The inside is already sorted. So we'll just put the ground sheet down, get as much as we can into this area and into a little bit of shade. All I've got left to do now is empty the panniers, and I'm going to chuck all this stuff in the tent. In terms of setting up the tent, it's all but done. All I've got to do is put the airbed, air pillow and sleeping bag out, put the chair up, and then that should be it. So like I was saying, I'm probably just going to leave the bike with the roll bags attached. I've got the disc lock on, and the key thing is the side puck stand. And I'll give you a quick look what it's like inside the tent. Nothing too glamorous, but I've got everything organised, sort of food, cooking equipment over there, some bike gear. I've got to get the sleeping bag stuff inside the room, and then just clothes, other bits and pieces. And then in the sleeping area, just got some of the bike clothes. So I think what we're probably going to do later is we'll put the fire pit in that far end. We'll put a chair down here somewhere, and that'll be our view. And from the other side of the tent, let's go and have a wander to the reception area to get these beers on chill. And this is what it looks like in one of the eating areas. Let's say restaurant standard. That's a reception desk. Spot on, really. And there's our spot. You see, just nestled in that grassy area. So you've got that camper van there. You've got a couple of people in the distance, but other than that, seem to have got quite lucky with the spot again. And the chap at reception, which I'm assuming is one of the owners, was kind enough to put me beer inside the freezer. So as long as I don't forget, I'll nip back up in about 45 minutes and I should have some ice cold beer. Next priority, let's get us somewhere to sit in this chair, which was an Amazon special. Looks a bit gangly and complicated, but in reality, if I can do it, absolutely anybody can do it. And you just put the foam pads toward the floor. These just hook in underneath, and you've got yourself a chair. Now, because I'm not already warm enough, the next job is putting up the airbed. All you've got to do is manually force air into the opening using this method, and that's it. Now you can see there's the pillow, little sleeping bag, and the airbed. And what I always advise you do, keep that zipped up or it'll get full with bugs. But before we do anything else, I think we'll have a walk around the campsite and we'll show you what it's like, because I haven't actually seen really much beyond the view I've got here and the walk back to reception. So as you can see behind us, that's where we've just come from. Our tent's just behind that orange car. Looks like we've now got a neighbour for the night. Well, when I said I couldn't find a stream, I actually just found one, but I don't think... Well, actually it probably would work. Could probably keep the beer in there. At least I know for next time. Over here it looks like there's a swing. I think, to be honest, if I was to set the tripod up and record myself swinging on that, might get locked up. But it's a really nice sight. And this is a view from the top part of the campsite. Now the back end of the campsite is a little pond with what looks like swans, ducks, that kind of thing. So I think all in all, first impressions of the campsite are really positive. I think it's got everything you need. When I was walking along the top end up there was loads of freshwater points. The toilets and everything looks spot on. The restaurant looks absolutely fantastic, and there's a little bar, and they do also allow fire pits, which we'll get on the go later. So it's got everything you need, and it was 20 quid. So with it being so hot, I'm not particularly hungry, but we're just having a few beers later, best have something to eat. Mrs. Monkeywood Garage has found these, which I've never seen before, and it's a Frey Bento's chicken tikka. One thing I will point out, just before I put the bait on, brought flip-flops. All the last camps I've been on, I've had just my boots, and it's been absolute torture in the heat. So packing these, they don't take any space, but my feet are 10 times cooler. It's starting to smell pretty nice. This has got to be the hottest I've ever camped in. I'm sure the forecast was about 27 degrees, but it must be at least 30. And where we are here, zero cover. I don't know how well you can see that. It smells alright. Let's see what it tastes like. Oh, bloody hot. That's not bad considering it's just come from a packet and then basically heated up for a few minutes. And the other positive is, if I was to bring sausages, kebab, any kind of meat product like that, in this sort of heat, it would go off in a matter of a couple of hours, where with these, I'd probably have a day or two. Cheers. Since I first turned up, which was around 2 o'clock this afternoon, the place is fairly filled up. Behind the camera, there's another couple of cars just come in, and all the plots are starting to fill up. Behind us, there's a guy behind me, and then pretty much every space behind that is now filling up. But anybody who's looking to stay here, in terms of food and whatnot, the restaurant opens at 5, and I think it's based on orders. So if you want something to eat, you basically got to order it. If you maybe turn up too late and you haven't ordered, then the chances are you probably won't get anything. It's not like they've got food on the go constantly. But I've came self-sufficient, so I'm going to stick to what I've brought. The only thing I might cheat on is beer. And it seems madness to have a fire in this heat. For once, I'm actually hoping it will cool off just as the sun behind us dips behind the trees and the hills. And then we'll go and get a campfire and some wood. And I do have something to cook later, a little bit of a surprise. So I don't know if it's the heat or what, but that one can's gone straight in my head. But I think I'm going to head over there and see if I can get the campfire and the wood, and I'm going to set it up just down there. That's the fire pit, which to be honest is going to be ideal for what I've got planned later. So what I'll do is I'll just get that burning for a while, and it'll burn off any of the stuff that's left on top of that gauze. And there's the kindling, and there's the wood, which to be honest will probably last me 2 days. So that's a pretty good setup. And just looking behind us here, you can see that the sun's about to dip behind those trees. So I reckon in the next hour or so, daylight's going to start and drop off. It might drop a couple of degrees, but I don't think it's going to get any lower than probably 15 tonight. You want some beer, mate? I don't think we're going to have too much problem getting this one lit. And also, this should help with the midges that are starting to circle the tent. So as you can see, the sun's now just dropped behind those trees, which has made a difference to the temperature. For today's camp, I've gone for some of the finest hot dogs. So I'm going to let that flame die down a little bit. I've got a couple of sticks and we're going to see what these hot dogs taste like barbecued. Unfortunately, I forgot to bring any sauce, but I reckon they're still going to taste alright, and I am a little bit peckish. I'm getting a bit impatient with this fire dying down, so I'm going to try and just put one on now and see what happens. One thing I wanted to mention while we've got the fire on the go, Monkeywood Jr. has actually booked his CBT. So he's doing that in August next month. So if that goes ahead, the plan is for him to jump on a scooter, because he's doing a auto CBT, which makes sense because it'll give him a chance to get used to what it's like being on two wheels, the whole balance, braking, stopping, trying to stay visible on the road, all the kind of stuff you need to do. And then once he's done that, he can then, if he wants to, go onto a manual bike. So I'll keep you posted on how that goes. And he's doing his CBT with the same school that I did my CBT, Mod 1, Mod 2, and they're absolutely fantastic at Angel motorcycle training. It smells alright. That's actually not bad at all. I would actually consider that a success. Just missing a bit of sauce, or a bit of hot sauce. I think we're going to call it a night. It's probably about 10:30 now, even though it doesn't look it. It's still so bright. And temperature's still holding up, so I don't think we're going to have any problems being too cold tonight. Actually slept pretty well. Woke up about 5:30. Aside from the orchestra of animals, it was a fairly good sleep. So we've just got a coffee on the go at the minute. You can't beat your first coffee in a campsite. Well, it's breakfast done. We've had another coffee and we've been busy in the background. We've now got the bike pretty much backed up. So I've got the 2 panniers fully loaded. We've got the tank bag on, that's fully stacked. All we've got to do really is pack up the roll bag. And the tent's got to come down, which will just consist of throwing the pegs out. And the beauty of this tent is, aside from these little straps that connect up here on either side, you can leave everything else attached. So the inner compartment with all of its little hooks all the way around, I just leave them connected. So when it comes to putting the tent up, it's a piece of cake. As mad as it might sound, I've been trying to get this done before the sun comes back out. Normally I'm trying to do it before the rain starts, but it's been that hot that I can feel my head burning, my arms, my neck. But at least everything's getting a good dry out. I don't know if you can hear that, but there's plenty of bikes going by this morning. I guess it is Saturday morning. Nice weather, nice roads. And the next step is to disconnect all the poles. This is the part I dislike the most. There we have it. Bringing these, probably the best idea I've had this year. Alright, sweating now. Are you staying another day?
Yeah, another day.
I love going camping. I mean, I've only started doing it on the bike. I used to obviously just bring the car, but with a bike, I don't know what it is. It's that extra challenge of you can only fit on so much.
Right.
But the tent probably is a bit big. I could probably save a bit of space by maybe going half the size. But
probably should go half the size on these things and it's twice the price. Right? So have you got a YouTube channel?
I have actually, yeah.
What do you call it?
It's called Monkeywood Garage.
Monkeywood Garage, okay. And are you mostly camping or are you biking?
It's mostly bike stuff, but it generally leans towards camping, like getting ready for a camp, what you should buy, and then actually going out and doing it.
Well, I'd subscribe.
Ah, thank you very much.
Okay, safe travel.
Alright, cheers. I always try and position this a little bit further back because I'll be wearing a backpack and it tends to hit against here, so I'm kind of stuck sitting a little bit too far forward. Just going to have a little walk to the entrance of the campsite and show you some of the views. Well, this is the outdoor seating area. I showed you this yesterday, where you've got the little pond. And just opposite the campsite if you like your English countryside, really nice. But just over down that way where them wooden fences are, there is definitely a footpath. And I was talking to the camp neighbour there, and apparently that leads to a river or stream. So all I've got to do now is put my bike gear on and hit the road. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, as always, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next one. Cheers!